please join me in welcoming Kyle Marian.
So I am pinch hitting for Rob, and I am actually a first responder in that sense, so clap for me, thank you. But I will say let's lower our expectations a little bit, because I'm not a marine biologist, and the closest I've gotten to marine science is a swimming pool. So we'll lighten it up. But I will make the case that marine biology and human evolution might have some things in common. Ooh, yeah. So this is a bunch of pictures of baby me. So I used to be a practicing physical anthropologist. Thank you. This is proof that I did field work, and if you go to the American Museum of Natural History, I am a tiny little hologram in the Hall of Human Origins. Yeah, so, look for me there. No big deal. I have left academia, but I will always have... I will always have useless superpowers, Like, I am exceptional at cleaning dirt off of dirt. Yes. And I can write legibly on fossils the size of a grain of rice. Yes, thank you.
I can't even write legibly on paper.
It never came in handy, truly, once I left academia, but maybe someday. I know in my fieldwork photos, you can't really tell I'm a scientist because I'm not pointing at a thing. Why are scientist stock photos always pointing at things? I don't know. But like I said earlier, I am from the Philippines. I'm a Filipino immigrant. So just so you know, a little preface, we'll get to the marine-ish science soon. But just so you know how hard I fought for my career path in science, I had to tell my parents, my aunties, and my grandparents that I was going to college to chase the American dream. Yes, thank you. To become a white man. Yes. Indiana Jones. I know.
You've made it. This is it.
This is it. But I was inspired by Indiana Jones, who was bad at his job, but could F off whenever he liked, because he has tenure. So... even in the middle of exam season, just to go to developing nations and take things from like indigenous folks, but it's not stealing because it belongs in a museum. What? So I just wanted to say, like, my biggest takeaway though from that academic scientific career was that researchers, scientists, and academics were also human, and we love to get petty as fuck, all right? And there's nothing that I love more than academics getting all yo mama on each other's research. Yes. Yo, research so whack it failed to verify the mother flippin' hypothesis. Citation. John Oliver on the 1998 The Daily Show when he was talking to primatologist Todd Disotell. But yeah, that like quote to me encapsulated what it's like to be a scientist, to be an academic, which brings me to my first point. Things that marine bio and human evolution have in common. Number one, sometimes bad scientific hypotheses just won't die. Just, a little backpedal here. The core question we ask in human evolution is always like, what made us who we are today? Things like, how'd we end up with big fat brains? Walking bipedally on 2 feet, moving like Jagger. And, as a society, how did we end up with a penchant for fishing pictures on Tinder profiles? Why is that a thing?
I may or may not be guilty of that, but it's different because it's a shark. And it was research. Thank you.
Exactly. And sure, physical anthropology and human evolution always get lumped into social sciences because it does include a bit of imagination to piece fossil puzzles together. But sometimes imaginations go too dang far. Case in point, the aquatic ape hypothesis for human evolution. What is it? Okay. This is the closest I'm going to get to marine bio. Take it. In 1960s, an English marine biologist by the name of Alistair Hardy proposed a hypothesis that our ancestors must have had an aquatic phase, living in and living by bodies of water, in order to explain why humans evolved to be hairless, to have a fatty layer under our skin, have our hairs directed away from our faces, have long legs that let us wade and swim in the water, and on rare occasions, have webbed fingers and toes. Fascinating. Also, one of the reasons why he claimed humans must have had this aquatic phase in our evolutionary history is that babies can float if you throw them in water.
Imagine getting throwing babies in water approved by an IRB.
Yeah, exactly. Sir, what were you doing with those babies? Like, what the hell?
How many babies will you be needing for your study? A lot.
A lot.
We gotta achieve statistical significance.
Okay, first of all, of course, it'd be some old white cis man in a field that's not his area of research. He's a marine biologist talking about human evolution, and he's all like, y'all are wrong, I got this one. Second of all, when the hypothesis was proposed in the 60s, we didn't have a lot of fossils to go by. And more importantly, Alistair Hardy didn't base any of his ideas on relevant evidence, okay? No fossils were used in the making of this mother flippin' hypothesis, okay? So why is it a huge nope for paleoanthropologists? Well, since the 1960s, our human fossil record has filled in a lot of puzzle pieces to help us better understand our human evolutionary tree. It also demonstrated just how long it took for different features of our bodies to evolve, like our leggy legs didn't evolve at the same time as our big brains, right? Like, for example, like our fat under our skin has been there for a very long time, and it's not just a human thing. But we've also gotten to better at working with other disciplines together to paint a clearer picture of environments that our human ancestors in Africa lived and evolved in. And it was, you know, actually a lot more forested woodlands and bushlands that don't exist as much today. So, you know, better evidence, better research, give it up already. Unfortunately, sometimes the idea just won't fucking die. In 2016, David Attenborough had this entire series made about the waterside ape. And if you can't really see the quote, and I will read it, Sir David Attenborough considers whether new evidence will help a once widely ridiculed theory of human origins move towards mainstream acceptance. To which I say, sir, no. No, stop it now.
I just think it's worth stating that it's not going to be the new evidence that's making this mainstream. It's the fact that David Attenborough's talking about it on a public platform, but, you know, go off, I guess.
Exactly. And unfortunately, you know, some people still think this is the case, even though the fossil record and DNA does not support it. So that's one sad thing and one thing we have in common with marine biologists. But to turn to something slightly more fun and really quickly, there is one more fun piece of evidence that we have in common between marine bio and human evolution, and it's that, you know, some of our study species do enjoy hitching a ride, okay? And I give you this hypothesis to answer how monkeys got to South America, all right? So, this is, I think this is like one of those like hypotheses where I'm just like, really? Are you sure? But the idea is that we know from fossil and DNA records that monkeys originated in Africa, okay? Primatologists know that the first group of monkeys reached South America 40 million years ago. And back then, Africa and South America were closer than they are today, right? The distance between the two continents were like 930 to 1,300 miles apart. Wow. Today, it's 1,770 miles apart. So like significantly closer. And the hypothesis was that 36 million million years ago, old world monkeys found themselves adrift in the Atlantic Ocean. Marine, okay, marine. This is the closest I'm getting to marine bio. They had been blown off to sea after an intense storm in the African coast. They rafted on floating vegetation and found themselves in South America. So that is the hypothesis. How do they know? Because of fossils. So in 2020, paleontologists found fossil teeth in Peru from an extinct family of primates that was once thought to only live in Africa. So super neat. It had a distinct shape, and it was found with rocks that were 32 million years old. So there was this like kind of connection between the two. And where did the rafting idea come from? Well, there's lots of precedent in animals rafting the ocean. So like tenrecs and lemurs arrived in Madagascar from mainland Africa that way. Small lizards island hop the Bahamas as often as my Filipino aunties. What? And at that time, we just don't actually have fossil record around the rest of the world. It's just like really located in Africa, and then suddenly South America. So, you know, really fascinating. And I realized, that like Americans might not know what a floating patch of vegetation could look like after a major storm. As a Filipino immigrant, I have lived at the forefront of climate change, you know, floods, landslides, typhoons converging on each other into megastorms. Yeah, in the Philippines, it's so common, we have a word for it. Tuesday. Yeah. So I actually grew up watching giant patches of veg on overflowing rivers after storms. And so for the audience members who have not yet experienced that, this is what mats of vegetation after devastating storms can look like. Okay. This is a quiet video, so just take it in. This is filmed in Panama. There was just a major storm, and the river is overflowing, and that is not the other side of the river. That is a giant patch of vegetation, which in New York City would cost a few $1 million to live in. So, you know, it is very feasible that something like this could have allowed monkeys to traverse the Atlantic Ocean and then colonize South America. So
it's waterfront.
There you go.
That's nice.
Yeah, waterfront views. There you go. So sometimes, you know, animals just get swept away and they thrive, okay? That is my presentation.
Videos?
I freaking love cat gifs on Roombas, all right? Thank you.
Keep it going for Kyle Marian.